When you look at these politicians and how they obfuscate, how they actually just run from any sort of accountability, it's a perfect example. Cancun Ted Cruz. He was interviewed by a reporter for Sky News. And if you want to see somebody who's used to being yellow and running, watch this pathetic excuse for a human being.
There are 19 sets of parents who are never going to get to kiss their child goodnight again.
Is this the moment to reform gun laws?
You know, it's easy to go to politics.
But it's important. It's at the heart of the issue.
I get that that's where the media likes to go.
No, it's not. It's where many of the people we've talked to here like to go.
The proposals from Democrats in the media, inevitably, when some violent psychopath murders people.
A violent psychopath who's able to get a weapon so easily. 18-year-old with 2 AR-15s.
If you want to stop violent crime, the proposals the Democrats have, none of them would have stopped this.
But why does this only happen in your country? I really think that's what many people around the world just, they cannot fathom. Why only in America? Why is this American exceptionalism so awful?
You know, I'm sorry you think American exceptionalism is awful.
I think this aspect of it.
You get your political agenda.
No, it's honestly,
God love you.
Senator, it's not. I just want to understand why you do not think that guns are the problem.
Why is this just an American problem?
It is just an American problem, sir.
Mr. Cruz, why is America the only country that faces this kind of
you know what?
mass shooting?
But you can't answer that. You can't answer that, can you, sir? You can't answer that. Why is this country?
Why is it that people come from all over the world to America? Because it's the freest, most prosperous, safest country on earth.
It may be the freest, it may be the most
popular. Why are our kids dying in school?
Oh, no, Larry, you can't dare question American exceptionalism. Oh, and then Ted Cruz is just gonna be just so upset.
So, Roland, you and I have been in politics for a long time. He's just waiting for a particular word or phrase to say he can't talk to you anymore because the reporter was asking him legitimate questions. Why is it we have these mass shootings consistently in the United States and they don't happen anymore? And so obviously when he said American exceptionalism, some folks in this country get when you frame it that way. But the point is accurate. These mass shootings occur consistently in the United States. And once again, we talk about the connection between the other colleague talked about the issue of culture, right? In the United States, we talk about guns and this overall mentality. But Senator Cruz has to answer the question because he's talking about Democrats. But we know statistically more than half of Americans support some kind of ban on assault rifles. He didn't mention that. So what's the plan to ensure that this doesn't happen again? That we don't talk about this. Parents don't have to experience this. Communities aren't traumatized by these mass killings. What is the policy plan at the federal level to do something about it? You can't ignore it. Well, they are continuously ignoring it. But we have to do something about this. And most of them, like I said, Americans support some kind of, assault rifle ban. But in the Senate, Republicans don't support it. They're in the gun lobby has a lot of power. You know that NRA, et cetera, for years. And no one takes more money from the gun lobby than Senator Cruz does. So I think that pretty much answers the question in terms of who's putting money in his pocket. And then why does he respond the way he did? And why does he, support common sense gun laws?
To run, I love how they go, whoa, these things, it would not have prevented it. They literally pass bills every day and fund things that don't actually prevent something from happening. Every single day. So there's a notion that, if your proposal cannot prevent it. Well, first of all, we know for a fact, Ted, that if this person wasn't able to buy AR-15s, they wouldn't have used AR-15s. If they couldn't buy a weapon until they were 21, he was 18. He would have to wait. But see, they don't like those things. The idea that you can't do preventative measures that could lessen the possibility of one of these things. Oh, no. It has to completely prevent it from happening.
Sometimes I wish that America had the same thing they have in England, where they have Prime Minister's Questions Time, and you probably see it on C-SPAN, where like when you have to stand up in Congress and offer your position, and you get yelled at by the people in the opposition. We don't have that in this country, and I wish we did. Um, you know, it's very sad to see somebody who is a sitting congressperson say that they don't want to bring politics into something when all these children are dead. It really shows a lack of respect for the families. It shows a lack of respect for the bereaved, and it shows real moral cowardice. And unfortunately, moral cowardice is what drives people like Senator Cruz. It drives people who don't have enough courage to put forth sensible gun sense and sensible gun laws. Unfortunately, like I said before, there's a mentality in this country where people equate the idea of gun ownership with independence, and to a point that's true. But when you don't specify the danger in guns, and you don't specify the idea and sensible gun training, and the fact that a lot of this stuff is tied to mental health, because if you're going to talk about guns and you're going to talk about independence and freedom, we also have to talk about the mentality of people who are going out here to get guns. There is a serious mental health crisis in this country. There is a serious health crisis in this country, and all these things are intertwined. Unfortunately, it's not, and you can't even say in this particular situation that this was somebody who fell through the cracks. There were warning signs in front, behind, before he even bought a gun, that people either ignored, and he was still allowed to go and legally purchase an AR-15. An 18-year-old who's not in the military does not need an AR-15. That's just period, point blank. And the fact that this sitting congressperson did not have enough respect for the press and did not have enough respect for the constituents of the places he's supposed to represent to sit down and answer honest questions, or just say, I don't know, or I don't have a plan, that speaks a lot to his character, and it speaks a lot to the character of a lot of people who are in government right now.
Hey fam, Patrol Grooming is a men's grooming company that delivers on this promise every day to men everywhere. Everything we do, every product we make is designed to help you to present your best self. It's a promise they've kept since 1991 when they first introduced the Bump Control brand, the #1 men's product for a smooth, bump-free shave and silky skin. Millions of customers count on their exceptional skincare products, which can be found at more than 30,000 retail stores in more than 50 countries around the world. Now you can have exceptional beard and skincare products that are as unique as you are. Fellas, we prepared to, of course, head back out into the world with COVID restrictions being lifted. It's time to get your groove back, or visit www.patrolgrooming.com to order a Patrol Grooming box. Also use the discount code #Roland30 for a 30% discount at checkout. That's right, a 30% discount at checkout. It's the hashtag Roland30. Folks, we certainly appreciate Patrol Grooming being a partner here at Roland Martin.
We welcome you to the launch of the Mass Poor People's Low Wage Assembly and Moral March on Washington, D.C., June 18, 2022.
We are a new, unsettling force, and we are powerful. New, unsettling force, and we are here.
We're rising up to demonstrate the compelling power that we, poor and low-income people, have to reconstruct society from the bottom up.
And we need to do it with the loudest voices possible, the biggest actions possible.
Because we know that there is no scarcity in this land. The only scarcity is the moral will to do what's right.
Hold on, just a little while longer.
We are those with sub-minimum wage jobs who can't afford sky-high rent.
People with disabilities are the fastest growing minority group.
It's crazy to me that in 2021, it's still legal for workplaces to pay a sub-minimum wage to people with disabilities.
There are still so much trial and tribulations that we go through as Indigenous people. We can't get a decent wage to sustain ourselves, nor can we get adequate housing.
Veterans across this nation say enough is enough. We can't pat essential workers on the back on one day and then cut their health care the next day.
Health
is a political choice.
What more do I need to do to prove that my voice is just as valuable as anyone else's?
There are still forces in denial that would try to slow walk our transition to a clean economy and a just future for us all.
We have an immoral system run by immoral people.
But together we walk and we fight.
It's time for a change.
Reconstruyamos esta gran nación. See, we are people of resilience as we fight these interlocking injustices together.
When we work together, mobilize together, and rise together, we become a voice for the voiceless, and we become an agent of change in a time where great change is needed.
We need the third Reconstruction to ensure that deaf people, people with disabilities, and all people can have the right to live and to thrive.
We know what they are doing, but the question is, what are we going to do? Reconstruction begins when we change our mentality and say it's time for you to get your foot off of my neck.